Alright, so I'm gonna ask, can you find meaning in life without religion? So, if you think about the olden days, right? Like, when you didn't get ripped for just telling a joke. The olden days, most of the world, 99.9% of the world, were religious in some way. Okay? Different religions, but still religious. They believed in some sort of higher being or some higher cause. Right? There's some thick book that still exists. Alright. So, now, in the modern age, about 7% of the world are atheists. If you consider that the world has over 7 billion people, 7% is an extremely high number. That encompasses hundreds of millions. So, can you find meaning without religion is a huge question that's going to impact a lot of people. So first, this is just a postulation. Please disagree with me if you disagree, comment below. I think that religion was created for one reason, and one reason only. Okay? It could be real, it could be false, but I think that the reason that religion is still existing today is because of one thing. It allows people to cope with the idea that there is a life after this one. A life after this. Think about every religion. Christianity, there's the afterlife. If you're Jewish, there's an afterlife. If you're a Buddhist, you think, yes, well, maybe there isn't like this heaven or hell, but at least you are going to be reborn in some way. There's a life after. And the life after is usually eternal. Even think about the old religions. Greece, right? The Greek gods. There was... Jeez, how do you say this word? Elysium. I'm sorry, I just read Percy Jackson novels. I don't actually know how to pronounce the words. Alright? There was this place that is another eternal afterlife. Afterlife is something that's similar in all religions, despite how different on the surface they may seem. Now, why is this idea so appealing? A life after this? Because really, if you think about it, if there is no life after this, is there meaning to anything we do? If there's no afterlife, this is what happens. First, there's a pile of matter. This matter becomes you, and when you die, you become that same pile of matter again. That's it. That's your life. There's nothing else. It ends here. And the scariest thing, I think that this is the thing that a lot of people try to avoid, because when you think about it, there is no difference in whether you die horribly now or die horribly 200 years later or 100 years later. There's no difference. There's no difference between you dying at 6 years old and you dying at 100 years old. Now, why is that? Because if you believe in this, then that means that all the memories that you have only exists at this stage. And once those memories are gone, here, nothing else. You forget all of these memories in a way that you cannot even fathom. All this, gone. The instant you turn into a pile of matter again. In a way, your life never existed. And some people may say, oh, but your death can affect other people, like your family. But think about it. They also are going to turn into a pile of matter as well. And slowly but surely, as your family becomes a pile of matter, as books get destroyed, and as inevitably the universe somehow destroys planet Earth, like, for example, the sun's going to expand into a red giant in about 5 billion years and consume the Earth. All right, hopefully we're gone by then, but at some point in time, all you are is a myth, a legend. If you made the legacy on this world. And that's pretty scary. Because all of that is just pure imagination on our part. Because if you think about it, if the time before you are a human being is infinite, and the time after you're a human being is also infinite, then really, this part where you have memory doesn't mean anything. It's just part of infinity. You did not really make an impact on the world. And you are going to forget everything that ever happened to you in a way that's inconceivable. But then religion comes in and says there is a life after this. Then no. Although this is infinity, you will not forget everything. No. When you're created, you're going to last till the end. And to people, that gives them a reason to live. In Christianity, you live because, living for a short time and killing yourself, that's against the will of God. And you're going to have a rough time after your short life here on earth ends. This is going to be bad for you. So you think that life is a token for getting into this larger life. Eternal life. So that's why I think religion was created. To convince people there's a life after this, which grants meaning to your life. Because if your life was just matter turning into matter, and your memories would all be wiped, there is truly no meaning to it. Especially because this applies to everybody else as well. So, let me address some arguments that atheists may have, which is, look, it's through such tiny circumstances that I was born. A more vulgar example I like to give is, don't even talk about how slim the chances were that Earth was created. Just think about your ancestors. That's just pure biology. How many generations of humans are there? Not sure, but it's going to be over 100, definitely. In those 100 generations, okay, let's actually start early, all right? Your mother, your father, okay? Your father had to release his sperm at that exact time, and your sperm had to be the perfect sperm to reach your mother's egg in order for this version of you to be born. That's already 1 in hundreds of millions, the chance. But then, you have to think, in order for your mom to be born, her dad and her mom needs to undergo the same 1 in 100 million chance. And if you think about that, even if it's just 1 in 10,000, when you multiply those probabilities together, you get a massive number. And think about this, it has to be done for your father as well. And 100 generations of humans, that means that your mother's father and mother's mother has to undergo the same 1 in 100 million chance. And all of these chances have to align in order for you, this version of you, to be born. And you think, because the chances are so slim, therefore, there's a meaning to me. But you gotta ask, why does being born out of very slim circumstances, very slim probabilities, automatically grant you meaning? Because, well, plenty of things are random. Nuclear decay, for example, that's random. Nobody, it's a very small chance that something decays at an exact moment. But that small chance doesn't give that decay meaning. And same it is with, let's say, animals. Or, let's say, what's the chance that a particular rock is formed exactly how it is? That doesn't grant it meaning automatically. Now, you can believe that grants you meaning, but at the end of the day, if you think about it, that your memory is going to be completely wiped, completely gone, after you die, in about, well, realistically, let's say medicine's great, right? About in 100 years, you die in 100 years, and all of that is going to be forgotten as time continues, and you're just left behind as this carcass of a memory. Those slim chances don't seem to mean so much. So, if you have some sort of counter argument to this, I would like to know. Because I truly believe that religion grants you this idea of eternal life. That's what gives meaning to your life. But please, convince me otherwise.